Okay, guys, let's get started. This is Elliot Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. Today was quite a bloodbath in the market. This is typical bear market price action, guys. This is something though we haven't seen in a while, of course, but this is and when I say bear market, corrective market, we're not in a bear market yet. Um, but it's a pretty nasty correction. Now, before I go into your questions, I just want to say, like, look, guys, I gave you the most bearish setup this morning, and it played out. It was a high risk, high reward, but the risk paid off for those who took those puts or sold this. This could have easily found support and kept pushing higher as a 1-2, right? Now, there's still a possibility, right, that this can grow, right? There's still hope out there. I was looking on the internet, your typical perma bulls and just smart and not even perma bulls, but traders that want to take the long side. This is what they're playing for, something like this. Now, again, all C has to be is an impulse. So this is valid count. This is just as valid as it was here, just as a bigger, higher degree impulse. It can do that. Now, what would negate that? Obviously, if we take this low out right there. Now, a lot of people are like, well, that low. Well, of course, that low. But this low would be the first warning sign. And let's see if we took that out in the after hours session. And we did not. So we did not. But the market, what's happened is the algos, they want to save this market at all costs. So if you notice, they're just buying. They're buying against these pivots. They're just buying, hoping. Come on, guys, let's go, go higher, and then it probably is just going to be like shit, boom, and that's what's going to happen. So there's a lot of hope here, and it is just, I mean, to duplicate, you have to think about it from another perspective too. Like to duplicate, let's say we are going to push higher. I mean, that would be crazy because we would have to duplicate that enthusiasm and excitement like we saw yesterday all over again. And what news event do we really have that could drive it? Now, here we had the Fed meeting and had a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of earnings. No, earnings is kind of over. And what? Intel shit the bed in earnings, right? And then you have Apple was mixed, Amazon was down. So earnings isn't going to do it. You got a war about to break out. Maybe there'll be peace and they'll hug and make up and everything will be okay tomorrow. Euphoria? No, probably not. Then what could drive this jobs report? Well, if we're adding a lot of jobs, unemployment's rising, they're going to cut rates. Well, we already know they're going to cut rates. Well, that just means the economy sucks worse than we thought. Well, oh no, jobs are plentiful. Well, maybe it's hot. Oh no, they're not going to raise rates. Shit. So you see, I don't know what news event could generate the enthusiasm we need to get back all this law, and this is so intense. So I just don't know. Now, because could it be a short squeeze? Well, I don't think so. I think the Bears are a lot smarter. They learned through 2021 how to do this, how to avoid these traps, and we've avoided everything. So I think the Bears are actually more. They're not as dumb as they were in 21. They were rusty. They used to get squeezed a lot. Well, they're not dumb anymore. They're taking profit. They're waiting. They're not just going to be stupid and try to short down here or short. So there's no squeeze. So I think that's another thing happening. But if we're coming down in Y, we should see a nice three-wave bounce. Could this be just wave one of A? Well, if that's the case, this could be going a lot lower. So we actually have to hope that it does something like this, and then like that, and then like that. That's probably what I'm thinking it will look. Now, if this move is just the start of an impulse, 1, 2, then we'll come down like that. We'll bounce in A, and then fail and go lower and come down to this area. Okay, so I can't tell you where we are yet. We have to let this play out a little bit. We have to see where all the individual stocks are trading. when we're down here to know, is this going to be a good area to buy at 525, or do we need to wait to 512 or lower? And of course, we need to break this low first. Now the triple Q's very close here, and I think the Nasdaq was weak. It was weak here. Maybe the first one to break. It looks like it could be at a megaphone of some kind. You chart pattern traders, megaphone, and then we break out. This is a continuation, a megaphone like continuate on the downtrend. If it plays out, just notice that today. Then of course the IWM. Now look, you have a full impulse down here, so you broke the low. So is the 4 done? Maybe. You know, maybe that would be pretty. Again, what Euphoria is gonna rival and exceed what we just went to. I don't know, but maybe you definitely you know. So I think, but then the 4 hour hasn't even reset yet. So maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe this is just 1, 2. Right, 1, 2. 1, 2. Boom, and we come down here. Or, like I said, the count's off a little bit. I put the 4 there, I put the 5 there, and we're done. That's the case. Boom, we're at 200 before people realize what happened. And then we know the top is in. But for now, we'll just kind of label it like this. And of course, the Dow Jones could be already bouncing in this connector in B, and then one more push lower for 4. But what if, again, what if again, it's a higher degree 4, and it's ABC, and then we drop all the way back down to 36,975. Possible? Yes. Not impossible. All right, let's go to your questions, guys. Let's go right to the first super chat. Jonathan, let's jump to yours. Yeah, URA was in, I thought the last time I saw it was in the buy area, but again, I'm very defensive. I'm buying really anything when the market starts getting disorderly, sloppy, and we're on the verge of something like that, and that's really just complete risk off. We don't see a lot of just everything just drops, risk off, but we may see that if this thing unravels. So we want to be a little bit cautious, even though our system is saying that these things should bounce, because what we're seeing is a lot of things aren't bouncing very, not that much. So, okay, so uranium is in a buy area. It's in a buy area. Now, can it go lower? Yep. So it looks like to me, you have 5 up, you have a higher high, and you have 3 waves down. Okay, so it looks like to me it's okay. Now, obviously the weekly cycle is broken, right? You have the weekly cycle broke here. You have bearish divergence between this peak and this peak, but you don't have an impulse, right? You don't have 5 waves, you only have 3. So it's a 1, 2, 1, 2. So really, you would expect this RSI to be the support, and we're right at it. So you would expect this to reverse soon. You would, if this count is right. And again, I could be wrong. I never say I'm right all the time, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for A, right? 1, 2. And actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5 down. Okay, this looks like 3 up. So maybe we have a flat and we just didn't look at this closely here. Yeah, let's put the 3 there, the 4 there, and then the 5 there. So we're going to change it up just because I'm taking a deeper look at it. And then we have the 3 there, and then the 3 there, and the 5 down. So the buy would be, so we're going to have a slightly different area. 2518 would be the ideal entry, but honestly, it could bottom anywhere in this general area. So it looks like to me you're close. So I would probably label it this way, and then down, and then hopefully it forms a low. I guess if war breaks out, uranium's pretty good, right? So there we go. So there you go. Yeah, right around this area. Bullish divergence on the 4-hour, on the daily, you're seeing that leg, but on the weekly, you've erased it. You're seeing the 3 legs. You're staying above this level, so it looks okay. I mean, if someone put a gun to my head and was like, "You got to go long tomorrow. You're not allowed to short or be defensive," this would probably be on my shopping list. This. Even though it can easily keep pushing low down in this area. It just seems like a cleaner setup. The stop area, probably I would want to just leave it on this trend line. All right, TEM, let's look at that real quick. TEM. TEM, yeah, today was a really intense day of selling. Typical wave 3 price action to the downside though. Just one-way market, intense, no relentless, won't stop. Again, we called the 5. Okay, so this shouldn't be a shocker to you, right? If this shocks you, I'm not sure what to say because we called the top. We called the top. So now what's got to happen? 3-wave bounce, right? So it looks like to me on the shorter cycle, we're going to have to go to the 15-minute. Again, you got this bullish divergence. So just like the rest of the market, is this done the first leg? Almost done? Or will it erase divergence and just collapse? Ultimately, the target is somewhere around $34. Okay, so I'm just going to label the most probable path. That's the most probable path. But the way this market's going, it could be just a crash correction down. And you get something like this. And it just does that. Okay. But that's what I'd be looking for, support somewhere within this area, but we don't have a bounce yet to define the correction. It's still in the first leg lower. Let's go to the next one, MDGL. MDGL, let's see what we got here. Don't have that one. I know that name. Yep, that's that pharmaceutical play. Yep. All right. Looks like we haven't charted it before, but I am familiar with it. That's an interesting chart. Again, looks like like generational inverse head and shoulder. I mean, geez, it's been going on since 2008. They must have made a product that finally works, I guess. It looks like to me that, yeah, that's a major low here. And then you're out, and then this is some impulse, clearly with a massive extended fifth, which is typical for these speculative plays, big extended fifth, and you lost the whole 5 like you normally do. And then you have a 3-wave, a connector, and then you'd make another push lower here. The question is that did this bottom? Let's take a look. We'll have to go, let's look at the weekly. Looks like a run-in flat to me that finished here. That's what it looks like. Let's see here. This is 5. A, B, C, and 5 for B, and then the run-in flats. So run-in flats are extremely bullish because the market just is so excited to buy it. That looks like a 1-2-1-2 setup. Yeah, they must have a product that's working now or something, or about to launch. I don't know. We have to look at like what they got going on. Now this looks like 5 up. So this leg is really tough because I could easily put the 1 there and we come back down and then come out later. Or you know, I could just, you know, do that. So we don't know, but I think it's something like this. Did we break that high? We did not break the high, but this looks like 5 up. So I will label it this way. All right, so it looks like you've got a big breakout coming in this stock for a historic push higher. They must have, do they have like a weight loss drug or something going on, or what did they invent? Because they must got something going on that's really hot. What's the market cap on this thing? 6 billion. So looking pretty good. Looking pretty good, but like the rest of the market, it could still pull back here in this 252 is possible, this area. But it looks like it's got a pretty good setup. Here. There's like a trend line of reference. So as long as we're in that trend line, should be pretty bullish. All right, thanks for the super chat, man. Let's go to Mike, your super chat. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM, well, let's take a deeper look at the IWM and see. Futures. I know these lag a little bit, but that's not a good sign. But I'm not surprised. I mean, Intel is down like 20%. That's a dividend. They just pulled their dividends. Now everyone's going to panic. Other people are going to pull their dividends, and these are the stocks that, like, you know, the 401k crowd, the retirement, you know, they own. It's just they just get paid. Now like, maybe I shouldn't own these, you know, these dividend. Some of these dividend payers may stop. So I think that's gonna really spook the market. What happened to Intel? So the IWM, let's just look at the larger cycles and see if anything significant happens. So the weekly cycle still hasn't confirmed that the absolute top is in here. Now once this weekly breaks, X is in, which means it's going to be probably like a free fall. Okay, market's probably topped, or is about to. The daily, let's take a look. So this leg looks like it's about to reset. So if we break the daily cycle here, which is like we're about to, see we're right at a pertinent point. See, 4 is either done right now, here, right? Because we have an impulse. It's the flat. The flat is over. The 4 can be in right now for this 5th wave, right? It could be over right now. Now, if it's not, then this is just a 1-2. And then you'll get 3, 4, 5, and it's going to come down to 200. Well, if it does that, the daily cycle is going to break for sure. And then if the daily cycle breaks, then you're correcting the whole leg, this whole leg, not just this little piece, which means probably X is in. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. So that's that's why I'm saying if you guys are trying to chase the Russell, you're just trying to chase that last little bit. You're just trying to get that last little bit, or you're going to be in front of a steamroller, right? I warned you guys about picking up pennies in front of a steamroller here with the Russell. Now, you may have got this last little bit. Cool. You got this last little bit, you know. But look, you had to be or you lost it all in like 24 hours. You lost the whole thing in 24 hours. And it may happen, the same thing may happen tomorrow, for all we know. So, again, maybe you could put a long here and put a stop at like 215.05 as a play. Just play for this 5th wave. You know, maybe you get lucky. But it seems to me this is kind of do or die for the Russell. Because if the Russell, I'm not even going to have this box here anymore. It's irrelevant. If the Russell can't hold these levels and it pukes downward, then the next stop is the low 200s before you get any kind of relief. But by that point, the structure's broken, X is in, and it's going to be dark times coming. But that's okay. We already anticipated this situation. We thought we wanted to get a little higher, but again, we got the signals. We got out, got conservative. Now, again, some people wanted to pick up the pennies. That's fine, and you got that. You got it. You won. You got this little pump, and if you got that, you should be rewarded for holding that. I mean, that was a hell of a hold if you held through that yesterday. But you got to ring the register because look, you lost it all in 24 hours. So anyway, I just want to show the Russell a little bit deeper. Okay, Lululemon, again, we called Lululemon right on this channel. We called it right. We had it topped out, and it's just grinding lower. Big picture, okay, big picture on Lululemon. If you haven't seen it, we called the flat top right around here, and then it's been down ever since. Now you have a double top. This is a classic double top. You broke the neckline, and now the distance, right? Isn't that the chart rule? I'm not a chart pattern trader, guys, but isn't it like the length of the head is how far it falls? Well, that gets you back down to $95, right? Which is the long-term trend line. So I don't know how far down it's going to go, but I know it's going to go lower, and it will impulse down. It's just going to keep grinding lower. Now, you have some bullish divergence here, so let's look, make sure we don't have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's one cycle, and now we're in another cycle. So I'll just label it like this. We'll just keep kind of going. Don't be surprised if divergence erases and this thing just accelerates downward. So yeah, but look, we're finishing maybe a 5, so we bounce back up to 271, and then we just keep going back down. That's possible. But again, we could erase divergence, and this could become a like a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then it's just bam down to 199. This is the area where it could bounce, but we need to finish all these swings. AMD didn't bounce as strong. Like we already won. We already knew AMD was a risky trade, right? For any long. But we did get that counter trend rally, right? And it failed immediately. So now it's entering and going to see the power of wave 3 to the downside, right? The downside. Now, is it possible? There's always a possibility the market can be tricky, right? We already know that. Now, so you already broke that here, but you have W. You could, again, it's a possible connector. I'm just showing it. If that happens, what an amazing short opportunity, but I don't think it will. I can't see how AMD can rally that hard. So I think it's just starting its journey down as wave 3 takes shape. And we'll just see that. And we grind lower. This was the canary in the coal mine, guys. AMD was the canary in the coal mine. It was the one stock that tipped its hand, that showed us the market's true intentions. Showed us the market's true intentions. It was the first weakest of them all, the first one to really break pivots. It had 5 down. It peaked the first. So this was the canary in the coal mine for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it was. All right. Let me just grab something real quick. I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. All right, Anonymous, let's go into your questions. Let's see what's happening on with Neo. Yeah, I told you I stopped out on Neo. I got rid of that shit. It was just depressing, and I knew the Hang Seng was going to keep dropping, so it just wasn't worth being in anymore. So obviously, yeah, I've left this And I was clear about telling people that. Now, I was also clear. I said if that stop broke, you have a connector for this big move. So now it's obviously not going to top here. Uh, we're still in wave two, obviously, because we're going to break this. That means we're most likely going to break 361. The next level to buy this at would be at $3.02 right here. We'll be looking for a low right here, and we'll want to see 5 waves down. Luckily we got the first wave already done here. So we want to let's get rid of that. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, did we erase divergence? We almost did here. The 4-hour did not. So I would still say that it's a 5. Okay. If the 5 can break this, then actually it could be finished and the 2 could be in like that. Okay. But I'm thinking divergence is going to get erased. I'm just thinking that, and just looking at the structure. So more than likely we're going to see something like this play out, and that looks like something like this, right? And then something like this, and now we're entering wave 3 land. As it extends out, bottoms out, and then hopefully finds the true low somewhere around here. And like I said, I decided to just cut my losses, and you know it was a good try. What this just ended up being was a connector wave in 4 here and a massive ABC connector, and it's just going to push lower. And unfortunately, you know, we don't make the market. We're only slaves to the market makers and the big money that can move this market, and we just try to go along for the ride. It was still a good setup possibility. The inverse head and shoulders is just going to make a bigger one. Left shoulder. Now we're making a new head, and then we'll make a right. So it's just forming a bigger inverse head. That's all it's going to do, which is fine. But I'm not going to ride around in this and watch my money drop. I'm just got rid of it. But if you're interested in it, to me, breaking that low is very technically significant, and it will probably break that low, which will probably get you down here, Neo. Okay. Intel, man, yeah, Intel. You know, the thing with Intel, when we looked at it, we said, guys, we have to back into the low on Intel because the other situation is a catastrophic drop, and we got that. We had to, so guys, we had to put the low here because the alternative was almost unthinkable. Well, we got the unthinkable today. So that's also a clue of where the market may be heading. And look, we have the box here. So I'd be looking for Intel at 1853. That's what I'd be looking for it. And that's where it's heading. So the next buy on Intel, if you choose to try to catch a falling knife, will be right here. So I'll relabel it. This was a super bearish chart. It's actually I'm surprised it played out on the bearish side because that could be a warning sign for the rest of the stock market here. So this was just a big connector, a big old connector that failed, and that can happen. And now we're going down another leg, right? And there's our AB right there. So we're finishing C. Down we go. So that's what I'd be looking for. So we need divergence to be erased. So I'm sure we need to take this pivot out. This divergence has to get erased on this push down. I think it's going to do that. And if it does that and it traded in here, then I think it's looking okay for those brave enough to buy it. But I mean, they got rid of their dividend too, right? So I don't know why anyone would want to buy it now. So that's a 50. So it could go. So this is another target area right there. Try to pinpoint our target, fine tune it. Let's see if we have horizontal support. Yep, right there, historical low at 1239, right there. Which, guys, if this doesn't hold, this would be an epic double top. I mean, an epic double top. if this doesn't hold. I mean, it's going like, what is it going? Is it going to go bankrupt? Is someone needs to check their financials, man? Is there something wrong? I mean, if they're cutting all their dividends and stuff, like, I wonder if what's going on with the company's corporate, structure. But hopefully, the market will find support right around this area here, right where I got it, and yeah, we were aggressive with Intel here. Now we saw the three waves, right? And remember, when before earnings, I was like, hey, if we break this pivot, it's time to get out. But the earnings didn't even give you a chance to get out. I don't know if this was this during market hours. Yeah, see, well it did. So it broke during market hours. So you did have an opportunity. So if you were following me on Intel, I did say if we broke this low, you need to get out because it's going to be a waterfall. We did break it during market hours, so it gave you a chance to get on a lifeboat if you chose to take it. But many people probably didn't, weren't paying attention. But that's where it is. That's where it is. Very interesting situation. BCHG, Bitcoin Cash, guys. Look at that. Now, it is. Did it hit the buy area? I wasn't really watching it that closely. So it did. Okay, so yeah, I mean, technically it should find support here. You saw a little wick, like, oh, someone bought it, So, it should hold. Now, right away, there's a problem, though, and you're not going to allow me to hear this. Yeah, it hit the buy area, but it did not erase divergence. So that's a huge red flag for me. So if I was looking at this, I wouldn't have bought it here. I would have waited. It's going to push deeper. It's got to erase the divergence. This is too big, way too big. Now you may get lucky and this forms a connector, right? And then you could, and then you may have a chance to dump it. Like if it's something like A, B, C, that's possible still. But that divergence needs to get erased. I think that's too much divergence for me between this and this. If it was a little lower, I could talk myself into it, but this is too big. So you could see a big pump, but don't be surprised if that fails for two to continue on. Okay. But I don't like how it went deep enough, but the shape of the RSI didn't work either. Didn't work for me. Didn't work. So it needs to go lower. It needs to go lower, but it needs to stay above 782. So personally, if I was going to looking at this, I wouldn't have bought it here. I would wait for it to go deeper in. If it bounces early, then I'm expecting the bounce to fail, and then I would buy it. Again, waiting for the divergence to erase to signify the three-wave structure, and we don't have that. It's not a flat. So then, how's Bitcoin Cash doing? Let's take a look. How is crypto doing in general? I think MicroStrategy, what Taylor said, he's going to buy 2 billion of Bitcoin, and then just boom, everyone's excited. Well, cool. Well, now we have a pivot, guys. So this cycle has been corrected here. This is an impulse. So now we have a level for Bitcoin that you could trade against potentially here. Is it 2? It's possible it's 2, right? I mean, if it's very possible. Let's look at the higher time frames. The 4-hour did reset a little bit. The daily did not. Is it a daily cycle correction? It's possible. So there's a lot of possibilities here still. It could still push lower in a 1-2. So this is no longer valid. If it does that, it's going to do what I think it's going to. I thought all along it's just going to collapse and try to retest this low and see what happens. That's what I still think. But it doesn't have to. I'm just showing this chart because now it's bullish from this low. It's bullish from this low. Until this low breaks, the market should push it, try to push it higher. But I would definitely stop. I would have your stops tight because if that low breaks, it could really fall. It could fall a lot fast. Bitcoin Cash. Let's take a look. Did erase divergence. It did hit a buy area. I dropped it, but it is there. It overlaps with this wave. So it's it looks like a 1-2. It would be like a 1-2 1-2. And again, this low has to hold 388. If it doesn't, Guess what? It's just a connector wave. We've talked about this. There's no guarantee for 5. It's just a simple A, B, C. And more than likely, it's going to grind lower, and it could come back and break this low and continue lower. I'm just telling you what it will, not what I wish it to be. I'm just telling you what I see. But I do see that this 2 is now a tradable low for this push higher. But I can't promise you it will do that. Now, if it breaks it, may want to stop out if you're long it. Just mentioning it. And Bitcoin again, if we break this low, this would just be 1, 2, C will extend. Then we're going to run into the scenario I thought all along. Again, on the weekend, guys, I warned you about this. I warned you about this trap here. It looks so obvious to me. But there was no rules. There was no like, oh, because the MACD did this and the McClellan oscillator did that and my indicator. No, it's just my experience as a trader told me this was a trap. Just, again, how I look at the market. I look at it as a poker game, not like a chess match that I can outthink and outsmart you. I just look at it as, how am I being trapped here? This was just too easy. It was too obvious. Trump speaking. It's just so obvious. So if we do this, it's just like, that's also was obvious. But what I think will happen is if we do dump, I think we will come back and challenge these lows. And then you could try to take a long and just put your stop there, and you really have nothing to lose at that point. And then you could try that, and I think that's what the market will test. Now, if this low breaks and we push down here, and this low breaks, you're going to get a lot of selling, guys. I'm just not going to lie to you. You're going to get a lot of selling, Okay, so just that's what we got. Thanks for the super chat. TK went. Let's go to yours. Pepe, how's that one doing? We looked at that a long time ago. Let's see how that's up. What's that up to? What's that up to here? All right. So is C? Looks like we're still in this B wave connector, and we should be pushing lower. I would still be looking for this box. That's pretty good capitulation, though. Damn. Yeah, I think you got to put the low there. Now that's how I do it. So this box is not relevant. The low's in. It looks like 5 up to me. Why are people buying this thing? Why? I mean, what is this just like a some kind of scam coin or something or what? I don't trade this stuff, so. All right, so here you go. So let me show you the buy area potentially. Again, I have no idea why the hell it would pump like this, but for those desperate enough for a long position, it's right there. That's where it's bouncing. Good luck on that. I would say that this low has to hold. So you put your stop here and play, go, roll the dice and spin the wheel and see if you get wave 3. Maybe you get lucky. Because the reason is, that's massive capitulation. Same thing here. That's a lot of capitulation, but there's, I guess, strong hands. People are holding this thing or buying it. All right, good luck on that. Zeus coin, what is that? Zeus coin? What the hell is that? Zeus? All right, let's see. I haven't done that one before. Zeus. All right, I'll just pick. I'll pick my KuCoin here. Alrighty. Charts like this make it very hard to trade it, but we'll do our best. So we'll just look for an impulse down. Now we do have the impulse ended here. Boom. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the impulse. The problem is we just don't have enough chart data, because this could be a tight flat and this could be actually a major low. we just don't have enough chart data. So I think the way to trade it is trade it bullish from this pivot here. So you're going to trade it like it's in a bull market until you're stopped out. Looks like this is some kind of wave 5 with 3 and a connector. This is pretty deep. This is really deep. Again, just like the rest of the market, this has got to hold. So and then 3-3 connector, ABC. Right, some kind of ABC. Maybe you can get one more push higher up to this area if you're lucky. But then after that, it's whose guess? I don't know. I mean, it could go to new highs. It could be rejected here and go to new lows. I would think you get one more push higher. But I think this low is pretty important because of the capitulation, and it looks like you've reset the 4-hour cycle. So it looks like you're in some kind of like 1, 2, and you're going to come out. But again, there's no guarantee of the 4 and 5. You may get just a 3, and then it just dumps. So I don't know. But I have to put something. Right? I gotta put this on the chart somewhere. So here you go. So good luck on that. Thanks for the super chat. All right, Aldridge. Oh no, man, thank you. And if you got any questions, I really appreciate that, the big super chats, guys. I hope today I helped everyone. And again, I never, I can't tell you what to do. I just show you the different options the market can take. What I think is the most likely. It could always do something a little different, but maybe it gets you thinking, and maybe it adds just more data to your decision-making process so that you pick the right decisions. That's all I'm trying to do on this channel. But I can't tell you, obviously can't tell anyone what to do, how to trade, how to get out of your positions. Yep, I did call the little top on Lily and Novo. Yeah, I did. And guess what? They're on my watch list for buys. Lily, more importantly. And we want, and that was actually another clue. That was another canary in the coal mine. So let's take a look. You have 3 swings down here. You didn't hit 757. You came close. It looks like you're forming a new connector. So this is no longer valid. Now let me get rid of these boxes. So typically on this correction, what I was looking for was this is grand supercycle correction for Lily. I would be looking for somewhere down in this wave 4 cluster here, but the first bounce should come here. And then, so it's gonna, I think this correction will take a while. I don't think it's gonna happen quickly, but now you're in a connector wave. So what has to play out is this some point it will fail. It should go down. Now this is definitely a buyable dip. If you're lucky, it is the end of the correction, and then it's gonna moon, right? It's wave 3 of a new super cycle, but the chances are that bounce is going to fail later. Right now, if it ended here, the worst case would be 645, 598, and then that gets you to where I expect it. So I just show you the worst case scenario here, but I doubt that's the low. I doubt that's the low. But let's keep an open mind and just see if that plays out or not. Let's look at the long-term stochastics. Obviously, we're correcting this whole leg, right? This RSI will need to grind all the way down. Okay? So that's why it's going to take a while. We got to correct this whole leg. Let's look at the monthly. By the time, my guess is by the time we get that second push lower, this monthly will break. And then everyone will know the cycle's over, but then it's probably too late for many people that are complacent. But I do think you're going to get this push lower, but there is a possibility the low could be set here, for the next major cycle higher. The problem is it's very likely that you bounce and you actually come back down one more time in the future. I don't know. But again, somewhere around this area. That's why I have this highlighted. So this correction will need time to play out. It's just going to need some time to play out. But I was hoping to get it a little lower, but this truncated, so I won't chase it. I think it's going to form an X, and then it should push for Y. I will like to buy it on this Y leg. If this X goes higher, then the target goes higher. But for now, we'll just leave it where we had it, and we'll see where it goes. Let's see what Novo's up to. Novo looks like that's 5, right? That looks like an easy 5 waves, right? Don't need to put much thought into that labeling. And now it's in a B. That we would expect that to fail. Now that could be a buyable dip here. Again, that would be buyable. That would be at 111 if B ended here. Now if it pushes higher, the target goes higher. Okay, I'm just showing you if it ended. So that would be like 111. Got this gap here. So that would be buyable. And again, that's probably the final low. So more than likely, again, you're looking at a bounce and a low. It's going to take time. But this bounce, if you're lucky, again, we could be lucky, and then it just moves in the super cycle. But I think it's gonna fail. One more leg lower. Okay, looks like you're maybe forming this head and shoulders, the right shoulder here. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Then you have some other ones. Chevron. Yeah, people are just so bullish on energy, guys. Okay, Chevron, we have owned this, but man, it's been a battle. Short here, puke. Short here, puke. Short here, puke. Short here. Just like I said, remember we were watching Chevron. I was like, guys, this has got to. It's sure enough, puke. They try one more time. No, they're like F no. So the sellers are they're just like, this is insane. This is what a battle in the energy space. Hopefully we'll get this wave 3 going. I'm hoping, boom, then massive opportunity for a long position. That's what we're hoping for. So far it's played out. I could be wrong. Again, where would I negate this chart? Probably this pivot right there at 167.18. As long as we're below that, the bears are still in charge. Good luck. But the floodgates can open at any moment. At any moment. Looking at this count. Okay. CEG. Let's look at that. Constellation Energy. I think we were working on that earlier. So we had the dip buy here in X. Now the question is, did X end before it even got started? The way the rest of the market's trading, we have to assume that's what happens. We have to go to the higher cycle. We don't have confirmation of X yet, so we're still in the corrective structure of W. So if we do push down and make another low, it's 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So watch this. This could be really tricky. Watch what can happen. It could still be this and get a catastrophic drop. But it could also, but I don't think so. I don't think this X is in because it wasn't strong enough. What I think may play out is something like this. And again, this won't be valid anymore. And that. So you're like trying to bottom here, and it does something like that. You got to watch that. You got to watch for that. But what I think, but for right now, we'll just leave it. We'll leave it like that. It could be so maybe it's a triple correction. So there's actually, I don't like labeling it. I think this is too difficult. It wasn't strong enough. It could be a WX, WYZ, and then just come down a little more. Too many options. It's tough. This one, I would say though, bearish below 197. You should expect it to go lower. That's how I would trade it. Bearish below, I would trade it as a bear market, not a bull market. Okay, man. Adobe, how is Adobe doing? Okay, so Adobe either found the low, but come on, we all know this huge gap, right? So I bet it's a connector wave. So it does, again, it doesn't have to break this low, but given, just again, given everything else, let's look for this gap fill, right? And then we come down here. Just again, don't be surprised if you see that push lower into as a double correction in an ABC. Or what is it? WXY maybe. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like a WXY. Okay. You know what's interesting here is that little wick. Is that after hours data? I never like using the after hours. Okay, good. Okay. You know, I've shown a double correction. It's pretty bearish, but I'm just going to say something real quick. That too, this almost looks like 5 up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very tricky. What if it does something like this? A, B, C doesn't break this high, and it does something like that. Watch the trick. That could be possible too. So I don't like trading it in here because of that. There was an opportunity to buy that dip here. Now the opportunity is lost. If the market gives you a drop down here, great, you can buy it again. But if it runs up, just watch out for that. And of course, it's always possible it's finished. Let's look at our cycles. Yeah, that's a pretty big reset on the 4-hour. What about the daily cycle? Okay, see, we need a daily. This has to be a daily correction. So my guess is it's going to fail. How it does, I don't know. But I'd be careful that this doesn't move up and then pull down, because it looks like 5 up to me. It looks like 5 up. So be careful you don't get in a trap situation and this get chopped up here in X. But we'll just kind of leave it like that for now. Thanks for the super chat, man. Joe, okay, we already got to Joe. S1 Dearborn, the utilities. Let's take a look at how that's doing. Is that utility? I think that is utilities. Yeah. All right, so we have the 5th wave. If we can erase divergence, that would be a 1, 2, 1, 2. It would be pretty bullish. It looks like we're in wave 3 of 5. But are we moving in 3? Yeah, we're moving in 3 we're moving in 3 waves. So it actually could be finished at any moment. So then we're looking for a big pullback down to 22.21 or lower. So this could be finished today even. But we got that 5th wave, and now the market, it could still push to 31.96. This is the area where it could be rejected right around here. So again, it seems like if this is the right count, you're moving in 3s, right? You're moving in 3s. Again, moving in 3s, and then there's 3 within 3. So it would end here, and then a big pullback down somewhere around here. All right, and then DNN. Some mining company. Again, the miners look really bad historically. You had this low, looks like some kind of 5 wave down move. Bullish divergence. So we're just going to have to call this an impulse down that end it here. So we're going to say we're bullish off this low. And then this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. This kind of looks like all the chart patterns for all the miners. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So then it has some kind of and this is some kind of flat playing out. So it could actually go as low as 134. Down. Something like that. You know, somewhere around this area, it could be hard to say when exactly the flat will end. Just typically it will end at like 155, 126, right around here where I have it, right here. And then it should have, hopefully if you're lucky, you'll see the power of wave 3 coming out of this. All right, that's what I'd be looking for, something like that. And then did you get this push out? Okay, good luck on that. Good luck on that. All right, let's keep going. Anonymous, appreciate that. Serve, how is that one doing? I think that one was getting hit pretty hard too, if I remember right. On stock twits, I think I came across that the other day. Yeah, it looks like we peaked in that 5 right here. And that's pulling back. I mean, we basically got the chart right there. See, we don't have to change anything. Now, I'll give you the buy area. If this, so it's hard to say when B ends. It'll be 87. If that's the top of B, the buy is at 870 right here. But if B pushes higher, then the target goes higher. It could very well do that. This looks like almost looks like 5 up here. Oh, actually, there's your. It's like the indices. So yeah, I think gotta be really careful tomorrow on this. If you get a big drop tomorrow, now if it could push higher, then obviously this will be W, X, and Y, and B will come up. So I can't predict the future. I'm not an astrologer or anything like that. You know, I can't read future. You know, but I do know that this is going to drop at some point. Just where? But right now, as of right now, if that's in, it's lower. I do expect another swing though down. This move is over. The move's over. All right, Riot and Mara. They're probably going to go to those target. The Riot. Remember we had that. I mean Mara. Let's start with Riot first, and then we'll go to Mara. So Riot, we had to back into the low on Riot, right? Because we said if that's not the low, it's going to be catastrophic. Because you've basically, well, maybe not. Maybe not looking at it here. Again. Let's just draw the line here. Yeah, see, you reset the cycle. So this has to hold. This has to hold, this pivot. If it doesn't, it's lights out, game over, Riot. It's game over, technically. So this has to be 1. And it's maybe it goes back to 832 as a big flat. And tries to... That's what I would think. Because if this breaks, then it's coming back down to 299 and it's probably going to break that. It's just because then you corrected this whole cycle with just this little bounce here. And then it will have to have a whole new sequence lower that's equal in magnitude and time, as you saw here, essentially, which will basically take it well below these levels. Mara, it looks like we had this highlighted area for God knows how long. And it looks like it may actually head there, but this is where I always wanted to buy it anyway. Just they had this FOMO pump, so you have to assume that's where it's going with with this breakdown here. Again, it should be moving in 3 waves. Looks like it did like a 1-2, 1-2 here. Maybe that's the force 4. I don't know. But it has to move in 3. So like you see, you have this big bounce. It's going to need a big bounce. But that big bounce is going to fail and do that. It's going to do something like that, I'm thinking. All right. CLSK, again, we've been waiting patiently, and I think our patience is about to be rewarded. If X is in here, we have our 3 connector, and we'll come down, we'll bounce, and one more low. So, I mean, at some point, I think this is going to break down. All right. Hey, Crypto Mickey. Hey, man, thank you for this big super chat. I really appreciate that. And 15K. I love when my followers and people that follow me make this kind of big dollars, man. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. I know you had a good day today. Cool. So let me see your question. Yeah, let's check the SQQ. All right, SQQ, guys. So the SQQ, not looking good. So we were on my live stream and we were like, should I buy it or not? Shit, I should have bought that shit, huh? Should have bought that shit. But this is where it back tested the breakout of back, and it held, and now it's going up. But it's not time to get euphoric yet. So I did put another area. Now, if it wants to make another push lower, the market, again, I don't know what could cause the euphoria, but if it wants to push down, back down to this box here, there'll be a buy here for sure, right here again. Now, this box is irrelevant. This box was just for this high, so we kind of draw that back. Okay, so if that's a low, if this is really X, the target for the SQQ would be right around here, 1073. And I would respect that because literally when we got the target here, the whole market turned and bottomed. The minute the SQQ tagged my box, literally to the penny, the whole market, I was watching it because I was in, that's how I played this. I bought this here and I got this pump and I I didn't make 15,000, but I made a lot. And then when we got this, there's like, okay, I run the register, and then all this shit happened. Now, this was a possible buy for the most bearish case, and it worked out. Now, the question is tomorrow, are you going to get that follow-through capitulation or not? If you're not, then it's going to come back down to this area in the connector. That's what's going to happen. Okay? I don't know. I don't know. Now, based on everything I said earlier today, I'm not sure what news event's going to cause the market to reverse and do another Thursday. I mean, I don't know what can get the market so euphoric to go back, unless Powell does what, emergency rate cuts tomorrow. Maybe that would probably do it, right? He just comes on, he's like, yeah, guys, I got to cut, 50, 75 basis points right now. I screwed up. Now that would probably do it, but you think he's going to do that? Probably not. So I'm just going to leave this chart, but this is the chart now on the shorter time frames. Of course, this has got to pull back, right? We need an impulse, right? Look, you have 5 waves and a connector and 5. It should do the same thing. But the problem is this is just wave 1. This could be just wave 1 of A. Look, this is wave 1. What if this is just wave 1? This could push even higher. So that's what we don't know. But I mean, if it's this, it'll do that. It will come back. It will, and then it'll do that. It'll do that, and then it will actually come up to 12. So we just don't know. So we'll see how it goes. Bitcoin, like I said, Bitcoin is has a pivot that you could use now. This is a pivot. So if 6234 breaks, then we're looking at a 1, 2, and then we'll have 3, 4, 5, and we're probably coming back to retest these lows somewhere around where my cursor is being circled. Now, if this low holds, the flat could be finished, and we could move into wave 3 in the crypto space. And we just don't know. We just don't know. I mean, you know, tell people to stop selling, I guess. This is what you want to see. So I mean, you could try to go long, but I would put a stop there if you want to try to play that. I wouldn't short. No way I would short this. No way, because it could be finished. Technically, and then this cycle is reset. See? So the correction, this leg is done dropping. It's in a new it's in pushing up now. So we have to respect that. So I'm just going to call it like this for now. But if that low breaks, then it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Okay. TLT, TMF. Yeah, I'll do the TMF trade. I want to remember you're the one that asked me about TMF. Can I get back in again? I believe you asked, and hopefully you did, because I think I drew this box for you. Now it did penetrate a little bit lower, but you got your re-entry, right? We were worried here, and then we did. I was like, hey, if you get this flat, there's a you got this re-entry. Now it's wave 3, right? So TMF should be heading up to $72. Well, but it could go up and down and all around, right? You don't assume it's just going to go straight up. If it does, then I guess I mean, that would be like a bond, like people panicking in the bonds, right? That would have to be a market crash. But I think it's still going to, now it's clear. The direction is clear, higher, right? Higher. So that's probably your first 3 right here and 4 right there. So we'll just kind of keep labeling this and keep grinding higher. The TLT should be doing the same thing. Now the TLT did a bigger 2 here as a flat, and then just pushing higher, just like we had. TLT should be seeing targets. Let's take a look. Maybe like 116, 120. Wait and see how that goes. Okay. Yeah, I mean we're doing pretty good. We're doing okay so far, so good. I'm glad. Like I said, I'm sure everyone's doing pretty well, and yeah, the futures don't look good tonight, guys. I hope not getting too hurt by this. Like I said, I think once you make this technical break of either this low or this low, the market direction is clear. Now, I was watching the TQQ today. The TQQ almost broke the low. Now, that would have also been a clue, right? If the TQQ, sometimes we saw in our channel during the bear market in 21, 22, sometimes the TQQ will show the sequence before the indices or the triple levered. So sometimes if you watch the triple levered, it'll break a key pivot before the indices, and then it'll be like someone showing you their poker cards, right, at the table. It always works. It almost always works. It almost happened today. So I think that's something, and one of my followers pointed this out like years ago when this happened, and it was true. It's a good. So I always watch the triple lever. Like if we're getting close to pivots, always go into the triple levered. But sometimes they break them beforehand, and then that's like that's like the market tipping its hand to you. So it almost did that today. So anyway, cool. All right, let's. I got through the super chats, guys. Let me just kind of look at different questions. I can't ever get to all of them. Let me go to. Let's do a run through of some of the semiconductors real quick. ASML. We called the A wave done here. So the question is B done or not? It sure can be finished. We hit the 4. If it's finished, we're going to get C. So let me give you where that level, let me give you the buy-in level. That would be 680, 618. Again, very bearish, but we have to see things as they are, not what they wish them to be. We wish them to be. I mean, honestly, you would want this to push up one more high, right? You would expect that, then drop. Again, and that would raise our target, but it's bearish below this pivot now. So you can't be like, I guess you could buy it here and put your stop loss at 846 and hope B pumps and you fill this gap. That's the play. I wouldn't short it here. It's too late to short it. So we'll see what happens. I don't, again, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see here. Massive hidden bearish divergence there. That was another clue about the market being overbought here. So I'll just leave it like that. If it could pump higher, great, but we'll see what happens with ASML, okay? Let's jump to CrowdStrike real quick. CrowdStrike is doing that unthinkable flat correction that I said if that pivot. So look, guys, and this was a flat like this is like a 5% chance, but it happened. So it's a big flat. This will come all the way back down and probably retest these lows. It could still be an extended flat and finish sooner. It doesn't have to push all the way down, but I would at least expect the weekly RSI to take this out. And same thing with the monthly. So it's got more downside. It's got more downside. And hopefully you stopped out of this a long time ago, because the setup was lost, I think, on that low at 303. All right, let's see. Silver, guys. Silver. Yeah, let's check out silver and gold. Silver and gold. So again, we're looking for this wave 4. It looked like to me we had this. We didn't have again, the shorter time frames are notoriously inaccurate, but we didn't break this high. So I warned you that this was still just a 3-swing move off the low. And now it's a nail biter because now you have 5 down, right? Now you have an impulse. So is the trend lower? So I'm not saying this low is going to break, but it doesn't look good. Now, it could push higher in 3, which would be okay if it could do that. So this is a 50-50 area. I can't really tell you where it's going to go. I don't know. I think it's all about the dollar index and the market structure. If the dollar index is going to do this second pump higher, which I said it could do that easily, then there's a chance that silver is going to break this, and then it's got to be looking to retest this area or lower, and then it's we'll have to look at the higher time frames and see what are we dealing with? Are we dealing with a flat here, or are we dealing with some other count that I'm not seeing? But I would say for me, this is definitely would be, if I was trading, a hard stop. Gold, we never actually got to the buy area in 4 here, so again, this could still push lower. This looks like an impulse though, off the low. That made the impulse. So we'll put the 4 there, but it looks like we're done 1. So that's what we're hoping for in gold, something like that. Alrighty, let's see, just kind of scanning through some final comments. Yeah, just trying to give you guys some updates while I have time to do that. And it looks like the morning update made some people some money today, man. I got that morning update in. Yeah, some people do trade the moving averages. I don't use them. I don't really what's the irony is every time I have my boxes and levels, people tell me, "Oh, that's actually at the 200 day." I'm like, "Oh, really? I didn't know that." It's just kind of the technicals actually match up with the moving averages that are on my system, and it's just like a spooky coincidence. So yeah, the moving averages seem to work for people that use them. But coincidentally, a lot of my levels line up with moving averages accidentally, I guess. That's what people tell me, um, for whatever reason. Kalid, all right, let's jump to yours. Wolf and Irene. Let's take a look at Wolf. Wolf. Wanted that fifth, so wanted looking for something like this, that fifth wave. But you see how strong that was? Look at that reset. So we have to change the label on that to this, WXY. So this could be a very shallow connector. It could actually be done. It pumps so much. So I'll give you the worst case scenario, like a wipeout. So you better pray that doesn't happen. Now, if it doesn't, the most likely is you get another swing higher in X. So either you're betting it's going to a buck, or so it seems more likely it's going to go higher. Like the connector needs another wave higher. So I would be looking for another wave higher in the connector, and then down. It won't go down that far anymore. Okay. But don't count. This isn't guaranteed. This C. It's not. If it could be that. It very well could be. Okay. There was a lot of trap buyers on that pump yesterday. A lot of trap buyers, but not a lot of price to show it. The distance on price barely moved compared to the amount of energy wasted, buy-in energy wasted. A lot of buy-in energy was wasted for very little price movement. So this could very well be in. We'll have to wait and see what happens. IREN, let's take a look at that one. Looks like it hit our sell area, got rejected nicely. So yeah, just looking for it to grind lower. Hopefully people got the short in here on that. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 1 could be finished. But you see, okay, we erased divergence, so it's actually even more bearish. So we have a 1, 2 here. And that looks like a 1, 2 right there. Looks like something like that. A lot of these wave threes about to, so many stocks we just looked at that look like the floodgates are about to open, like they're about to I mean, damn. Again, the 2 could still push higher, but I'll just label it as I see it. We'll have to just keep labeling the impulse as it plays out. Thanks for the super chat. So then MU, okay, yeah, Micron guys, all these semiconductors I wanted a bigger bounce out of. Like, it's actually kind of unusual to see yeah, it's crashing, cool, but like to see it like really doing what it's doing is really insane actually. Let me find my semis here. Go to my semis. Micron. There. It's in the buy area. You're right. I mean, it should bounce. It should be bouncing. But in this market, God knows what's going to happen. I mean, you got massive daily capitulation. The weekly isn't done. That's why I still think the bounce will fail. But maybe the weekly cycle is just going to boom, and then it's over. Like maybe not. So If that happens, I can't really give you a target. So because it's going to just be a free fall panic selling. It's just going to be it's going to be like selling like we've never seen in the semis. Now, there's something in the semis, guys, you need to keep an eye on, SOXL. Okay, SOXL is huge warning sign. We had 5 down, and we had this bounce. Cool. I was like, great, the semis are bouncing, right, on Thursday. B should come up, right? That's what I was looking for. Look, it already failed, and it already broke the low. NASDAQ didn't. That sets us up for much more downside, guys. That's horrible. And it reset the cycle. This is horrible. Like what is going on in the semiconductor space? I mean, damn. So again, if B is in, that brings the SOXL down to like 11 bucks, 12 bucks. I mean, holy crap. We haven't seen anything yet. I mean, Nvidia 100, oh my, why don't you try 50 or 40? AMD 100, no, why don't you try 60, 70? I mean, that's what we're saying. I mean, that's what this, so this is actually, this was actually another clue going into trading that said that the market is really, really weak. Now, maybe B can make one more swing higher, but I'd like to short that. I mean, that would be, then you have something like this. Okay, it pulls the target up. But this breakdown, this is a big technical breakdown in semis. So when I look at MU, yeah, it should bounce, but it didn't. It didn't. So maybe it's just gonna free fall, sell. I mean, waterfall, panic sell, like in the semis coming up. I don't know. It's just crazy. So I'm very cautious trying to play these dip buys in the semis because the structure of AMD needs to go lower. Period. And it broke down today, and then we just saw the XO. I just showed you SOXL broke down. So I don't want to dip buy. That's why I bought ARM, and on the channel is like, you know what? I don't want ARM. I saw that and I got rid of it because I can't be in the semis knowing I don't trade against the current. I never do, and I can't do it. Even though ARM was in a good area to buy it today, but maybe this is going to push lower. It may push lower. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's take a look at PLL. How's that doing? The last time we looked at the commodities guy, the palladium, it looked like we were in a really weird situation that this low had to hold. Okay. It's held so far because it's a connector for this whole move. This box isn't even relevant anymore. Like, if this doesn't hold, then the only thing I could label it as, it's either a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it's it's like unthinkable. I don't know why I can't believe it's that bearish. But I mean, I'll give you the chart. It's this. It's something like that. But that's probably not realistic. So why don't we just go with this has to hold. If it doesn't, it's only 5 down. I would just label it as 5 down. And then there'll be a bounce. But the bounce should fail at some point. It'll bounce, and then it should fail again later. So the question is that a buy, PLL? You know, when I look at PLL, it's in the same situation. Like it's right on the edge. It's going to either fall and oh, lithium. My bad. I was thinking it's palladium. My bad. Well, you got. Let's take a look. So yeah, so we were still in this lithium, but we said, hey, watch for the wave 5. Guys, we're getting the wave 5. So I mean, that's what's playing out. So yeah, so I'm looking for this lower level. Is it still a buy? It is, as long as divergence isn't erased. Let's take a look here. We actually got to go to 45 minutes. I want to look at this leg. So as we fall, we need to keep bullish divergence here. This has to stay above this pivot. If it does it, then I wouldn't buy it anymore. I would, because then it's gonna extend lower and hard. So if it comes down to 850 and you still have bullish divergence in place, you're good. You're good on that. If not, it's a 1-2-1-2 and it's just gonna puke. So it could be the better way to play this may be to actually not trade it, almost like I was mentioning before, and then you let it bounce. Maybe again you missed the actual low. Okay, no big deal. And then you get the pullback, and then you buy that. Instead of trying to bottom ticket, you just let this play out. Let it break the downtrend line here. Let it break that, and then buy it, and then you can buy it against there. That would probably be the way to play this. That's probably how I would play it. I wouldn't try to like bottom fish this because of what I just said and knowing where the overall market is right now. With the market dumping, URA is still good. Yeah, I mean, so this is where people say that, do I just trade the chart with my blinders on? I just trade the chart I see. I don't care what's going on around me. I don't care. I'm just trading the chart. The chart's perfect. I'm trading it. So if I'm just trading the chart with my blinders on, yes, it's a good buy here. There's nothing wrong with buying it. Can the market take it down? Sure. The market could still take it down to 24. That's still like 10% lower almost. So yeah, I mean the market could take it to 24. Now technically it's a wave too. Hell, the market could take it look, against this low. The market could take it all the way back down to 18 and still keep the bull case intact, right? So the answer is it a good buy? It's probably the only good buy I can see, but is it risky? Yeah, absolutely. It's still risky. Maybe war breaks out and everyone needs uranium for their bombs and it moons. I don't know. And everything crashes. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. I just, all I'm saying is this is just, if I look at the chart on its own, it's a good buy. If I look at it over the overall market, it may push lower into these lower areas of this box. So, you have to just do what's best for you. Some people wanna, without the risk, you get no reward, right? If you risk it and you're right, you're gonna get a huge reward. But if you're wrong, yeah, you're gonna lose at least 10% easy, maybe more. But then it could even come back down to these areas. So that's what I think on your URA. Screw them, bomb blast in the background. J Pong, where you live at, man? Are you living in Israel or Iran? Is that where you guys live? I mean, I know everyone lives all around the world. Bomb blast in the background. J Pong. Yeah, I mean, hopefully your calls are okay in November. Yeah. I mean, let me just scan through it before I'm done. All right, let's look at oil. We haven't looked at oil yet. All right, so oil, very interesting chart. I said earlier when we got this final wave 3 in oil, that's usually associated with market crashes. Typically, the final capitulation move after you break the structure, not in the structure, but when you really break out of it, that's typically the market puking down. So the question is, are we on the eve of that? So we had a nice, beautiful impulse down, and we had the 2. And I said the 2 typically goes to the wave 4 cluster. Well, there you are. The 2 could be over. But this doesn't look right. Look how quick it was compared to the whole leg. It's so quick. So maybe the 2 will come back up again. So I think it's probably too bearish to say that the 2's in. So I'm going to draw another box here, another short opportunity potentially here. But it doesn't have to do that. And if it's done, then guys, we got massive risk off coming in the market with a recession growth fear. And We did catch that short here. Boom. Puked it down. Here we are. So now it's a moment of truth. But today looked like a massive turn. Looked like, but again, it could easily make another swing higher. And it's so quick to correct this whole move. So quick. Oh, Massachusetts. Ah, cool. Um, oh, GME. Did GME puke today? Let's take a look with the Russell. I don't see the price down. I don't see any wick. Maybe TradingView's wrong, but I'm still waiting for lower prices. At least on the screen I'm seeing. Appreciate it, Eddie. I really appreciate that, man. All right, let me wrap it up here. One last scan. If IWM is topped, it's probably like game over for every stock, guys. I mean, there's always an exception, but I go back to this analog or fractal, as I like to call it. Again, you saw this fractal on my channel way before. Now it's starting to get more mainstream. We consolidate, pump, crash. When we got this crash, what is this? Oh, March 2020. We all remember what happened there. Did any stock go up in March 2020? I don't think so. What happens if it's another consolidate, pump, crash? What do you think is going to happen? You think any stock's going to be okay? Maybe some random, stuff that you don't own, like uranium, gold miner junior. Maybe there's some random shit out there that will pump that we just, gold maybe. But look at that. Look at that. And a lot of people are also looking at the yen, guys, these days. Look at the yen. So everyone's like obsessed with the yen all of a sudden. And again, we called the top in the yen, by the way, on a chant. We had the extreme area here, and it almost hit it. The reversal of X. I think X is obviously in. So now we just chart it. So it looks like we have a WX and A. Looks like, so we're in this B. Now B, if B's already done, you're going to get a big push lower down to 145. So this has been risk off, right? So this is probably risk off. Now if we get B, the pump, the final, the push one more swing higher. Let me go back. Maybe the market gets a relief rally tomorrow. But I wouldn't fall in love with that because this has got to finish. See? And then maybe this is a bigger relief rally. But I always told you, yen strength doesn't always mean market crashes. It sometimes does, but right now that's what it seems to be correlating with. So we'll just go with that for now. We'll just have to go with that correlation until it doesn't work anymore. Again, big picture on the yen, guys. We came down in 3. We have 3. We had the sell area, and guess what? We have to come down in 3. We get to do another one of these. So it could be in a secular, I guess, what is a yen strength? So secular bull market for the yen. Was this bearish for the market? Not the whole thing. This part was a big bear market for stocks. This wasn't. So that's what I'm saying. Yen strength necessarily doesn't mean the market goes down. But right now, that's what it seems like it's doing. So we'll just kind of go with it. So we can use this to also time the end of a correction. Here. This, but we're in this B wave. Is it over? Will I get another pump? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, it's I think the market's going to force the Fed to react, and that's what the bond market's saying, right? The TLT and TMF. How's the TMF going to get to $70? Well, the Fed's going to panic and cut rates. Well, what's going to make them panic and cut rates? The market, essentially crashes or drops. What's going to cause that? Well, it's going to cause like days like today, with bad economic data, days like Intel's report, it's going to be like that. So you know, just kind of peel the onion back, and you kind of see where the path we're going, right? But we have to go down this path. All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if SPY heads to the 480, 490 zone, all the year was that all year's gains gone, which I wouldn't be surprised, and I won't be surprised if that's where we end wave four and we go that deep. It would not surprise me if that's where we go, but we will see. And there's always the flat, the 5%, maybe even less chance of a flat, which would essentially be a 2008 all over again. Market meltdown, screaming and yelling at TV. I posted the video, the good old days. Those were the good old days, huh? Everyone was screaming and yelling, and the Fed knows nothing. Like those are the days. And those that we may be due for. We may be due for that. The market may have forgot what it's like to really lose a lot of money quickly. And I think we need to see some yell. I think it'd be good to see some yelling and screaming on TV and get people like realize the markets can go down. The markets don't always go up forever, guys. Permabull will lose everything. Perma bear loses everything. Anyway, guys.